The jazz band is well underway preparing for their next upcoming performance. Hi, I'm Sean Coughlin.
I'm Matt Fockey.
And I'm Colton Bosaw with Sports, and we would like to welcome you to this week's edition of WGLH TV.
Kelly Shellhammer started the jazz band program about 28 years ago and has gotten recognition from across the state.
Just 4 years ago, they were asked to play at a music educators conference, which gathered all of the top music teachers in the state of Ohio.
They are also regularly asked to perform for many local organizations around Gahanna.
The students are very dedicated. 2 to 3 times a week, they wake up around 5 a.m., get to school by 6:30 so they can practice before school even starts.
What they work on most as musicians is the art of improvisation.
The jazz program at the high school is so successful that all 3 middle schools have a jazz program as well.
Every year they bring in a professional musician to work with the students.
Mylan Jackson attends a recent rehearsal.
Gahanna Lincoln's Jazz Band is an excellent group of musicians who practice as early as 6:45 in the morning to make sure their pieces are ready for performance. The jazz band often goes to competitions and does extremely well. As you can tell by the walls decorated with numerous plaques, they're nothing if not well practiced. The energetic band director for Jazz Band is Gahanna's very own Mrs. Shellhammer, and the group would not be the same without her. Nate Asamoah, a very dedicated member of the Jazz Band, had a lot to say about jazz itself and the group.
Yeah, I like Jazz Band a lot. I like playing, and I like the music. Like, very... it like touches your soul a lot. It's very different than regular band, and I just like the atmosphere and getting to use my skills to play in front of people. So yeah.
Nate also talked to us about how he enjoys jazz in his everyday life.
Yeah, I listen to jazz every day, almost every day. I listen through YouTube and like Spotify and like Pandora, and it helps me to become a better jazz musician, because I hear fills and I hear different licks and playing drums that I practice and just put into my everyday playing.
Our jazz band is really a group of dedicated and talented musicians, and it'd be a shame if you never got a chance to see them. This has been Mylan Jackson reporting for WGLH TV.
The highest, most elite choir group is a cappella. They compete at the highest ranking, AA, at both state and district competitions. Mr. Lehman has been the director. The group has received only once the highest rating. Jared White gives us a sneak peek at the group in action.
The a cappella choir, the varsity choir here at GLHS, is working on their upcoming performance on December 11th. Mr. Lehman is conducting the group to make sure that they have the right rhythms, consonants, and phrasing during their rehearsal time each day. Since the holiday show is around the corner, the group is singing a traditional piece, Silent Night.
For our Christmas concert, we have prepared our traditional songs. Every year we sing the same 4 or 5 songs, and so typically the people who have been in a cappella before know the song already.
A piece that the group has been singing for years now, which sends the audience with good riddance and merry for the holiday season, is Keep Your Lamps. Furthermore, this group has had a history of success and plans to do the same this upcoming spring at the district and state vocal competition after the holiday show.
It's just a really exciting experience to just sing in front of those people and have them enjoy what we do, and also, you know, just the different type of voices we have in the choir is just a good experience as well that can help us out a lot.
The a cappella choir is definitely a choir that you should check out. Make sure you check them out on December 11th. This has been Jared White reporting for WGLH TV.
To students, music is important in and outside of school. One way for students to get involved outside of school is through bands. One local band is founded by David Leibus. Austin gets highlights of them performing.
Music is a big part of any culture and helps to create and define people as they grow. It brings people together and helps to create long-lasting friendships. And one group of people it has brought together is the band in Gahanna known as Men of the Titanic. Members of this band include our very own Jared White, guitarist David Leibus, and the drummer Eric Johnson. I talked with Jared White about what music means to him.
So some of my influences while I was playing it kind of started out with early punk rock roots, and then it kind of got to classic rock and roll. Lately we've been doing a lot of Rolling Stones, Beatles, but we've also got to Ramones, Clash. We've done a lot of 70s kind of rock and roll, and then we've also done things like 90s alternative too, like Weezer, Green Day, Blink-182. So it kind of varies, and we're definitely always looking to find out new inspirations, like Jimi Hendrix, Allman Brothers Band, or anything like that. So definitely, if it has rock and roll and if it's fun to play, we're always down to play it. So those are some of my influences, definitely, when it comes to playing music. But it always changes, like I said. There's also newer bands too that I'm definitely really into, like Modern Baseball, Joyce Manor, bands like that. So I'm always looking for new influences, and I'm always trying to not make the same sound.
So if you're interested in being in a band or any type of music at all, find a group of friends and get involved today. This has been Austin Barrett reporting for WGLH TV.
A group that has state, national, and international success is the Underwater Robotics Team. Ben Steeman has an in-depth report of how this group gets ready for their next competition.
This is no ordinary science class. This is the Underwater Robotics program. Students here get a hands-on experience with tools and technology to build robots designed to complete tasks underwater. Students meet here all year long to perfect their designs and sharpen their engineering and technology skills. At the end of the year, each student will participate in a simulated mission to the water-rich moon of Jupiter, Europa. In this mission, they must engineer their robots to retrieve satellite parts and search for life. As their teacher, Mr. Bruns, explains, all of this work helps prepare students for the modern-day job market.
Yeah. A single motor is probably not going to do the job here. Well, because we cover so much engineering, engineering is in high demand right now, but like I said, there's also programming, 3D modeling, electronics, so there's a lot of different fields people can go into. But it's also the underlying skills. You know, we use statistical analysis, we do a lot of teamwork involved. So no matter where you go, you're probably going to have to work with other people. So this is good preparation for that. They're going right here.
I also got to talk to a student and ask him what he has been able to learn from this class.
Well, I did not realize how much you have to do to make sure that water does not get where it's not supposed to be. I've also not had experience with building the bots like this, and a lot of this type of stuff that we're doing in class.
Mr. Bruns also gave advice to students who are considering adding this class to their schedule.
If you're worried about it being too advanced or too hard, don't. A lot of kids think they can't do it, and they're actually very successful. We guide you through all the steps. There's a whole bunch of different things involved, so if you even have an interest in one or two, I'd recommend taking it, and you might be surprised. You might like all of it.
Students are using the skills they learn here in the Underwater Robotics program to build their way to success. For WGLH TV, this has been Ben Steeman.
One way that students can challenge themselves academically while earning high school and college credits is taking AP classes. Some students may end up with an entire college semester completed. And Matt has the next story.
At Gahanna Lincoln, students have the ability to take AP classes.
The first thing you should pick.
AP classes are college classes that students can take at the high school. If the students pass the end of the year exam, the class will count as college credits. The classes range from English to math to even science. In these classes, students are given more responsibility. Mr. Wagner talks about how teaching AP students is different.
The difference with AP students is that you have to push them to a higher caliber. They come in knowing a lot of information. So in AP courses, our job is to push that knowledge even further and stretch them even farther than they think they can go. The students actually are part of the teaching environment where their opinion, their ideas, their thoughts become just as important as mine, so they actually end up teaching each other a lot.
In classes like AP Chemistry, students do hands-on experiments. They keep safety in mind when working with dangerous chemicals. These students do labs to add a visual to their learning. AP classes are provided with the best equipment that the school can provide. Many of these classes provide their lessons online, so if a student misses a day or even a week, they can catch up online. AP classes also have a weighted grade of 5.0 on a 4.0 grade scale. But it's a lot of work. Ryan Taylor tells us how he balances 3 AP classes.
I balance several AP classes at the same time by planning ahead. Most of my teachers are really good about, giving us our work ahead of time and telling us when things are due so it doesn't all get crammed up for one day. There is a big difference between AP classes and regular classes. AP classes are much more fast-paced. There's a greater workload that comes with them.
AP classes take a lot of hard work and dedication. Students like me that have several AP classes need to get back to work. So this has been Imad Faki reporting for WGLH TV.
Here's another story a WGLH reporter brought back.
Automobiles. They're the machines that transport us from one place to another to accomplish life's daily tasks. For many teens, getting their driver's licenses after turning 16 is a major task they work to accomplish.
I wanted to get my driver's license so that way I could have more freedom to go and do what I want and be able to drive there.
I wanted to get my license because I thought it'd be nice to be able to drive and see friends and to be on my own.
Driver's license because I'm a pretty active guy and I like to move around and do stuff, so it's really convenient for me.
However, an epidemic has developed over the last few years concerning teens and adults with a lack of awareness when driving due to something that's distracting them. An epidemic known as distracted driving.
This is a major epidemic in our country. We're losing our youngest and our brightest.
WBNS sports anchor Dom Taberry is experiencing the effects this epidemic has firsthand after losing his daughter Maria in a distracted driving accident back in September of 2013.
Car crashes are the leading killer of our kids, and especially the age group 16 to 19. You are 3 times more likely to be in a fatal crash at that age than any other group there is. And we see it every day. And
GLHS has also been affected by distracted driving. Nearly 3 years ago, GLHS lost one of its students, Sydney Williams, due to a distracted driving crash.
Sydney was a great kid. She really cared about other people. The biggest thing is Sydney would look out, be the friend that her other friends would come and cry on her shoulder. She would make them feel better, give them advice. And so she really cared about making other people feel better.
After an accident, cars are taken to one of Central Ohio's many junkyards for where they are either scrapped for parts or crushed, like these. However, Gahanna Lincoln High School is looking to curb distracted driving. Just last month, GLHS held a Distracted Driving Awareness Day, where they partnered with the Ohio Department of Transportation, which provided students with simulators, and where they also showed a PSA on how distracted driving hurts everyone.
You're going past the speed limit. What about Gahanna, get on your right side.
Well, I ran over a person. It was kind of hard to watch when everyone's yelling behind you.
The Gahanna Police Department is also taking steps to help prevent distracted driving.
you will have to have hands-free device to be on your cell phone or anything in Bexley. So I'm sure that the city of Gahanna is probably going to try to enact that also. Probably that will be coming about through probably, I would assume, most of the state.
For Tom Taberry, he's committed to fighting distracted driving until it's no longer an issue.
You know, I have a job doing the sports, but I feel like this is a mission now to try to end this madness.
Hey, I'm Danny Cossack, and I pledge to not drive distracted.
I'm Mylan Jackson, and I pledge to not drive distracted.
I'm Jared White, and I pledge not to drive distracted.
Hi, I'm Mr. Gregory, and I promise not to drive distracted.
My name is David Foley, and I pledge not to drive distracted.
This is Jonathan Mays reporting for WGLH TV.
Because of the location of the Gahanna Lincoln High School, students have a wide variety of restaurants in which they can eat lunch. Derek Johnson explores the choices students make.
One of the many benefits offered here at GLHS is the variety of lunch options. Freshmen and sophomores are required to stay in the lunchroom during their given lunch period. However, juniors and seniors are given the freedom and the option to leave the building to go to the restaurants around the school. I talked with senior student Connor Ingram on what lunch options he enjoys at the high school.
We have plenty of lunch options here at GLHS. Freshmen and sophomores can stay in the cafeteria and eat the food that the lunch ladies make. But juniors and seniors, we get to leave campus for lunch. We get to go out off campus, so we can walk across the street to places like Panera, or we can drive to places like Subway or even like Cane's and get whatever we want.
There are also many kinds of options in the cafe. There is a salad bar and a pizza section where students can get pizza every day of different kinds if they wanted to. In addition, there is a grill and a buildable section where students can put whatever they want into their own bowl. Not all juniors and seniors go out to eat. Many choose to stay in the cafe because they have freshman and sophomore friends they want to hang out with. Many students at GLHS work at the food businesses that are around the high school. Not only are these businesses great for lunch, but they are also close to the school, so the students don't have to go far when they have to work. Open lunch is a privilege that not everybody gets, but juniors and seniors greatly appreciate the benefit. Open lunch gives the freedom to juniors and seniors to get out of the school for a little while so they can eat lunch and hang out with their friends. Students are available to many healthy options here at GLHS on and off campus. Enjoy your day the healthy way, but until next time, this has been Derek Johnson reporting from WGLH TV.
Gahanna High School has been around for 90 years. Because of this, it has a lot of history and tradition. A.J. Overstreet takes us on a tour of some of the history that Gahanna Lincoln has to offer.
Gahanna Lincoln High School, a school with marvelous academics, athletics, and traditions, but also is very rich in its history. Originally established in 1882 on Short Street in Old Gahanna was Gahanna High School, then later in 1927 moved to where it sits today and renamed Lincoln High School after an early struggle with the city of Gahanna in Jefferson Township. Now called B Building or Lincoln Hall, this building has changed a lot throughout the years. Down a quick flight of stairs, you get to the basement, where it used to have classrooms and other places for students to hang. Nowadays, the basement is only used for storage, but students pass stories and rumors of things that has happened down there, such as deaths and hauntings. I talked to senior Aiden McNulty about a rumor he has heard.
Yeah, as a student here, I've heard many stories about the basement. I'm pretty sure it's haunted. I've heard there were 2 students that died down in the early 1900s.
I also talked to senior Jared Chobani about an experience that he's had down in the basement.
One time I had a scary experience in the basement. I went down there after practice, and all of a sudden I heard these scary voices. So I turned around, I was trying to figure out where it's coming from. The lights went out, and I just took off running. I wasn't messing around.
All rumors aside, the basement was used as a bomb shelter during World War II and the Cold War. And Gahanna Lincoln High School has been growing every year, with 7 students in the class of 1914 to over 2,400 in the class of 2016, and also many additions to the building, such as a new auditorium, Jefferson Hall, and a new main entrance and many parts of Hamilton Hall being added throughout the years. In the bowels of Gahanna Lincoln High School, this has been A.J. Overstreet for WGLH TV.
A student who has made their own history at Gahanna is Shanae Deeds. Dante Deeds introduces us to Shanae as she is our student spotlight.
Shanae Deeds, a great person to represent our school, Gahanna Lincoln. Here we talk about her goals for this year's upcoming track season.
This season, my goals are to win states and win as a team in the 800 and relays.
I talked to a couple of Shanae's teachers to see how she is as a student and how she acts in the classroom.
She's an excellent student in my class, very, very hardworking. She brings a lot of energy and excitement to the classroom, always willing to either help me or her fellow classmates. Whenever I have group projects or group assignments, she's always taking the lead, and she's just doing a great job of working hard, absorbing the material, asking questions, helping out her friends. It's been a real enjoyment since August to have her in my classes this year.
I had Shanae last year as a freshman in modern world history, and she was an excellent student from day one, always working well with her peers, always brings a smile to class even if she wasn't really feeling it. You could always tell her competitive vibe because whenever we did class competitions, she always wanted to win, and she was usually on the team that did. She's a great young woman and an excellent athlete. Pleasure to have in class.
I also talked to her peers and classmates to see how good of a friend she is.
Shanae is a person that has good character wherever she goes, no matter who's looking. She is my best friend personally and has affected many people's lives physically, emotionally, mentally, and emotionally. She has brought joy to my life.
Yeah, Shanae is a good friend. She's very respectful, good at track. Yeah. And she's real. We always have fun together. She's a real friend.
Good.
Catch Shanae on the track or in the classroom. But this is Dante D signing out from WGLH TV.
Shanae sure has a tough schedule. Some other students that have tough schedules are our athletes.
Speaking of athletes, do you have a sports report for us, Colton?
Yes, I do. First, Cole Frazier talks to staff members about how they balance a tough schedule between coaching and teaching.
A teacher and a coach can be challenging for anyone.
Here at Gahanna Lincoln High School, many of the teachers are also coaches. Mr. Ziegler is a freshman history teacher who also coaches cross country. These teachers have learned that it is not any easy task to balance the teaching and the coaching of any sport that they try to take on. These teachers have learned that they have to find that so-called happy medium between their work life and their coaching. But they also have to be able to develop the balance between their families too. Balancing these three things is no easy task for any teacher to accomplish. I talked to Coach Ward to see how he does with balancing these tasks.
As far as balancing my career, teaching, my coaching career, and my family, it's just a matter of setting priorities and trying to do what's right in those scenarios. Obviously, most of the day is spent on teaching, and then I get a period off to work on athletics and football, and then after that, obviously, is family. Do I balance it very well? Probably not. But during the season, the good thing is I have a supportive family that understands my schedule and the things that I do. That helps me balance the things that I need to balance.
As you can see, balancing coaching, teaching, and a family life is not easy. But these teachers have a supportive home system that is giving them the capability to do so. These coaches truly care about the success of their students and of their team. That's what makes our coaches here and our sports teams so successful. This has been Cole Frazier reporting for WGLH TV.
Connor Ingram explores a proposal that would raise the required minimum GPA for student athletes. The Gahanna Lincoln athletic teams are all known for having outstanding athletes on the field, as just this fall, the girls soccer, girls volleyball, girls cross country, and boys cross country all won OCC and district titles. What many people don't realize is that our athletes also represent themselves well off the field, specifically in the classroom. Currently, it is required for athletes to be passing at least 5 graduation credits worth of classes, as well as have a GPA of 1.5 on a 4.0 scale. If they do not meet these requirements, they are not allowed to participate in athletic events. Just last year, we got a new athletic director, Mr. Cullen, and he is currently working to raise the required GPA from a 1.5 to a 2.0 to push our athletes to represent themselves even better in school. I talked to Mr. Cullen about why he thinks this is a great idea.
Well, ideally what we'd like is to provide a positive environment for our student athletes to be successful. What that comes down to is having coaches in place who value the right things, who instill those values into our student athletes. It comes down to our fans being positive and being getting excited at games and helping our student athletes throughout those contests. It also includes all of our teachers and those teachers providing support for our student athletes, and not only in the classroom but also at the games.
If this works out, it will have a huge impact on our athletes on and off the field. I talked to new head boys track coach, Coach Johnston, about what he thinks of the idea.
I think raising the GPA from 1.5 to 2.0 is a step in a positive direction. I think it's an expectation that we have higher standards here.
Raising the required GPA will have a positive impact on our athletes' grades and work ethic. Until next time, this has been Connor Ingram for WGLH TV.
A number of athletes have either committed or are hoping to commit to colleges in the coming weeks. Josh Russell takes us to some of these individuals.
Gahanna's historic athletic programs have helped lead students to continue their sport in college. Senior Jackson Wolf talks to us about how high school sports prepared him for college.
My coaches, weight trainers have got me a lot bigger, better, stronger. I really progressed as a player. I've built lasting friendships through high school sports that I know that I'm going to carry into playing college baseball. I'm really excited to see where my future goes. College baseball is a step in my plan to play Major League Baseball, so I think this could be really a big opportunity for me, and I'm super excited to see where it all ends up.
All right. Earlier this year, Jackson committed to play college baseball at West Virginia University. Senior Lindsay Stamus talks to us about how the leaders in her life played an important role on her path to college.
Okay, so going to college for sports and high school definitely went hand in hand, not only with the academics, with talking with your teachers and counselors about which college would be best for you with different majors and with different coaching styles, but then also with the athletics.
Lindsay has decided to continue her athletic and academic career at Otterbein University in Westerville, Ohio. Junior Kaylee Hensley talks to us about the recruiting process.
Okay, so the recruiting process is a lot of work, and you need to put a lot of time into it, and it's mostly up to you until you're about a junior, so you need to reach out to coaches and email as many as you can, and make sure you make a bunch of phone calls. And it's okay if you annoy the heck out of a coach because they like that. Just keep emailing them. And what I suggest is making a list of about 20 colleges, your top 20 colleges that you want to go to, and just keep emailing them, film.
Kaylee and Lindsay helped the Lions reach the regional finals and achieve their best record in the team's history.
Many students who plan to take their sport to the next level. For now, this has been Josh Russell reporting for WGLH TV.
And in other sports, the hockey team won their Thanksgiving tournament on Saturday. The boys basketball team won both their scrimmages over the weekend, and both the boys and girls track team have started indoor conditioning. And that's a wrap for sports this week here at Gahanna.
Thanks, Colton. Not only is a wrap for our sports, but our show as well. Tune in next week when Colton will explain what a program the MH students have been working on called Main Cup. Until then, this has been Sean Coughlin.
And Matt Fockey.
And Colton Bosaw saying, happiness only comes to people who make it.
Have a great week.